Second topic of unit number 3 is serial communication protocols. All the three protocols are wired protocols. These protocols used in between microcontroller and the peripheral device, and those peripheral device also has their own bus master, and that bus master is connected to the microcontroller. So all the three serial communication protocols are the wired protocols. One by one we will see. The first one we are going to see inter-integrated circuit protocol. Second is controller area network protocol, and third one is universal serial bus protocol. Among the three, we are going to see the block schematic of I2C along with its frame format. Controller area network only frame format is there, no block schematics is there. And as per USB is concerned, only features are there in our syllabus. There is no frame format, there is no block schematic. So this unit is quite simple because it has very limited scope. So we will start with the I2C. As per I2C is concerned, this bus has been manufactured, designed, developed by Philips company. Philips company has developed this bus to make connection in between the peripheral and their controllers. This bus play a vital role in between them. So I2C is Philips company's bus. It is having only two lines. That's why two bus lines. Two lines means two wires are there, two cables are there. As per serial communication is concerned, you are aware about the baud rates, that bits per second. How many bits is going to be propagated from one end to the another end through one channel. So it is treated as a baud rate. But as per I2C is concerned, there is no strict baud rate constraints. For example, standard baud rates are 9600 bits per second, then 19200 bits per second, 4800 bits per second, 2400 bits per second likewise. So these are some standard baud rates, but no strict baud rates requirement is there as per I2C is concerned. It is having variety of the baud rates, ranges from 100 kilobits per second in baud rate range, in fast range 400 kilobits per second, in high speed range 3.4 megabits per second. So you have to remember these three baud rate configurations. It is having built-in collision detection, means if one bus master is there and it is connected to two slaves, and if two slaves are requesting something to the bus master, in that case the channel is same, and if two signals are coming from different slaves, then they may collide. So there is a mechanism that the data should not be damaged, which is colliding through the colliding. So that collision detection is there to avoid the damage of the data of both the slaves. As per addressing is concerned, 10 bit of the addressing is there. So in very simple way, you can remember it in this way, that 2 raised to 10 means 1 kilo, 1024, 1 kilo of the devices you can connect. It's in simple way. Supported with the software assistance, and multiple slaves can be supported. So these two are connected. 10-bit addressing is there specifically for the slaves. Okay, so these are the only simple features of I2C, that it is having only two lines. It is a following variety of the baud rates, collision detection is there, and 10-bit addressing is there. It supports multiple slaves. As per the block schematic is concerned, here you can see that as per bus master is concerned, this is a bus master, and that bus master is responsible for controlling the bus, that which slave is requesting, we have to give service to which slave first, then collision detection should not be there among the slaves data. Bus master is connected to the microcontroller of the embedded system, and it is taking the instructions from that microcontroller or microprocessor. So bus master is playing a role to control the bus. So that bus master is having two lines. One line is serial clock. This is treated as an serial clock, and this is treated as an serial data. So these are the only two lines. So these two lines are connected to the serial clock of the slave, serial data of the slave. Serial clock of the slave, serial data of the slave. Serial clock of the slave, serial data of the slave. So they get grounded. So their frequency is same. Slaves frequency is same as that of the masters, and slaves are identified using the identifiers. So master knows that this slave resides at which location, so that the data which belongs to that slave should reach to that slave properly. This is the function of the bus master, and slaves are requesting for the service. Once the service has been accomplished, slaves are goes into the idle state. Then another slave's request. So they request through the same bus, they receive the data from the same bus. That's why only one channel is there. That's why it is a serial communication. Here you can see that this is supporting multi-master, means I2C. This is a one configuration of single master. This is a configuration of multi-masters. So master number 1, master number 2 is over here. And they also have serial data, serial clock, bidirectional, and both the slaves are connected to both the masters. For example, this is ADC, this is DAC, and one bus master is connected to both ADC, DAC, second master is also connected to ADC and DAC. So collision detection should not be there. So this configuration gives us information that I2C, inter-integrated circuit, supports multi-master devices also, multi-master embedded systems as well. There is a requirement that multiple slaves can be controlled through multiple masters, and those multiple masters can be connected to the microcontrollers and microprocessors of the embedded system, so that they can synchronously control the variety of the devices. So this is treated as a resource optimization actually. So this is about the two configurations of the bus. Now as per message or data format is concerned, here data frame or data packet is comprised of these many bits. Now here there is no any confusion in this case. You can easily remember the frame format. This is the start of the frame and stopping of the frame. Start and stop. Within start and stop, in a features you may recall that 10 bits of the address identification is there. 10 bits of the address identification is there. 7 or 10. So 2 raised to 7 or 2 raised to 10. Okay. So 128 or 1024. So these are the address frame. And within this address frame, which controlling action is there? Rather, master is writing to the slave or writing on the bus, or master is reading from the bus. So read operation is there or write operation is there. So one bit is dedicated for that one. This is acknowledgement which is given by the slave device. For example, this is a clock pulse, and that clock pulse is having, for example, this is the first clock pulse, second clock pulse, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth and ninth. So on the ninth clock pulse, if the slave is giving the high to low line transition, then data which is going to be received by that slave reached completely successfully. This is the meaning. But if there is no high to low transition is there, then it is only high, means slave did not receive any data or slave partially received the data or not received completely. So it is a no acknowledgement, negative acknowledgement. Okay, so this is the about acknowledgement and negative acknowledgement. This is a data frame of 8 bits. Again, acknowledgement or no acknowledgement. Again, data bits, acknowledgement or no acknowledgement. So this is common and stop bit is there. So this is all about the message or data format which is been used by the I2C bus master. So this is the only coverage as per I2C is concerned. We have to know its features, then we have to know these two configurations, we have to know the message format of the frame which is been utilized by the bus masters. The advantages is that it is having only 2 lines. It is low cost, easy to implement. It supports multiple masters. As per disadvantages is concerned, it is specifically for the short ranges, short distances. It is having very slow speed and it is having limited data addresses like 2 raised to 7 and 2 raised to 10. That's why it is a limited data addresses. Memory interface like non-volatile random access memory can be connected through the I2C. Slow speed devices like digital to analog converter and analog to digital converters can be connected through the I2C. Means these are the slow peripheral devices, and real-time clock is the one of the application of the I2C. So this is all about the I2C. In the next lecture, I am going to cover the second part of the 3.2, that is a CAN and USB.